Very good. We are live, and welcome to my workout for older adults. The title, the theme is rest is rust, motion is lotion. So we're gonna set some guidelines for today's workout to make sure it's safe for everybody and we can get some cool results. So first and foremost, if you have any questions or if you have any concerns rather in participating in this physical activity or any other, you should always check with your primary. Number one. Next thing, we need to set the agenda. So for today's workout, it's going to be body weight workout. However, you are going to need some tools. So let me show you. I will be also doing some hand gestures so I can control my camera. So it may be looking like I'm waving. You can wave to me. But it's just really to control the camera. So I'm going to ask you to have a chair. So you can go get that. You're going to need to get some water. We need to stay hydrated. And if you have a yoga block or something equivalent, grab that. If you don't have one, it's fine. It's no problem. What you can have is a book, not a magazine or a textbook, something that's equivalent to that. And if you don't have any of that, it's okay, because Coach Julio got you covered. I will be showing you variations where you don't need a book or a yoga block. How's that? Sounds good? So next safety tip for this next 50 minutes that we're going to do our workout in. You want to check your sneakers. If you have any foot gear, you know, if your shoes are untied or any of that, and make sure that's secure. And then the other thing is, if you have anything lying around the floor, make sure it's not there so we won't trip over it. And last but not least, if you have something like a rescue kitten, which Sing Sing will make a cameo here and there, they may come in and join in the workout. Sometimes you can just call it partner training. All right, so we're gonna jump into it. So the first exercise I'm gonna have you guys do, we're gonna sit down and we will be doing a hip internal rotation. So what I'm gonna do, because I'm very passionate about what I do, I'm gonna put a timer so I don't go over time, because I value your time. We're gonna grab a yoga block. We have these hip internal rotators that we're going to target, and if I didn't mention it, which I believe I didn't, all of the exercises are going to be fantastic for posture, anti-sitting, and to fight and counter the negative effects of sitting and smart devices. And believe it or not, they tie into balance too. We're going to place the block between our knees. If you don't have a block, I'll show you a variation. I am not leaning back. I am actually sitting in the middle of the chair. I want you to look at my right knee. I'm going to see if I can give you a little bit more focus here. See my camera. So it is coming. All right, so as you can see, actually I'm pointing to my right knee. My right foot is going to go out to the side and come back. So we're going to practice doing this movement. My right foot goes out, then back. Notice my shoulders do not go side to side. This is not like an old school dance. We're going to practice this movement. I'm going to let you do that. Now you may say, hey, Coach Julio, I don't have a yoga block nor a book. That's okay. You can use your hands, place it inside your inner thighs, right out inside of your knee. Notice my knees are hip width apart, and then I'm doing the right. So I just put a little pressure and I can still do the movement. So we're going to do this for 10 seconds. And the 10 seconds, you're going to get as many reps as you can, but it's going to be slow. So 10, 9, 8, 7, you may get a cramp. 6, if you do, don't be alarmed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that being said, we will be doing a ton of unilateral exercises. As you saw, we just did one side. So by doing so, we can identify any asymmetries in our muscles and our joints, and we can strengthen them accordingly. If we continuously do exercises, which is always 2 legs or 2 arms, we can compensate or cheat without our permission. And I have to also say this, because it's very important. Safety is number one. If you feel pain or discomfort, don't even think about it. Stop. It's not worth it. Any pain or discomfort that's not within what you normally feel, please stop. All right, now we're going to go to the opposite leg. So I'm using my hand instead of the block. So watch my left leg. So we're going to do a couple of practice reps before I start counting down. What I want you to think is, do you notice a significant difference between your range or just feeling in itself? So I'll start to count down. 10, 9, opposite leg. 8, hips stay leveled. 7, 6, 5, 4, you should be smiling. 3 seconds, 2, 1. So I'll share. On my right side, I actually felt a little cramp, which is okay. On my left, I didn't feel it. Is that bad or good? No, it just shows me that that muscle got tired faster, and doing unilateral stuff as we're doing is very important, because if I was doing, again, everything two-legged or two arms, I won't necessarily feel that asymmetry. So that's part one. We will be doing standing exercises and more movement, but this is the beginning. Now I'm going to have you reach for me with your palms facing down, and I'll show you a side view. Call it like Frankenstein or Frankenstein, depending on where you're from. Palms up. Pretend you're holding 2 plates of good food and you're still reaching for me. Notice the level, the height of my arm is chest height, so we don't go any lower than that. I'm going to show you variations. It's okay. So I inhale and I exhale and I open up. I don't go beyond my shoulders and then I come back. So you're going to do this as I show a regression or a variation. For individuals who are like, hey, that's bothering my shoulders, you're going to have your elbows like so. It looks like a 90-degree angle, a letter L. Palms up, and you do it this way. Your elbows are hugging your ribs. Pretend you have 2 newspapers between your elbows and your torso. So I'm going to have you do that. So let's all of us do this together. So level 1, you can have your palms out. 10 seconds of this. I'm counting. Level 2, you can do it this way. 10, 9, I'll do it together. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So those 2 exercises that we did, we're just going to do it again. We're just going to do 2 rounds for pairing 2 exercises so we can get more movement in this 50-minute. I'm also going to work the brain. So I'm going to ask you to remember these 3 things, and you can post it in the chat in the comment. And these 3 things are the color red, square, and 3. Red, square, and 3. So I'm going to ask in the middle of the workout and at the end, see if you remember. And if I forget, you can correct me too. So let's go to our hip internal rotators. And again, we're not going to lean back. We're going to keep our chest up. So I'm going to use this time a yoga block. I'm going to position the camera up so it's further out, and this will work. So I put the block between my knees. I inhale, my chest is up. We do the right foot first. So again, there is no right or wrong way. Yep, and that's Coach Sing Sing checking everything. So now you did a little test run. Now we're going to count down. I'll count down for you. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, time. A little different, but it's worth it. Now we'll do the opposite side. So again, if you don't have a book or a yoga block, we can use our hand, lift my chest, 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to focus on the upper body. So just to review, you have 2 options of doing this. This camera will come. So you can have your arms completely stretched out, palms up, pretend you're holding 2 plates of good food, and wait till I say count down. So you can do it this way again. And then the other level was, so you're going to choose your destiny. Start now, 10 seconds. 9, I'm going to give you some coach tips. 8, I'm still counting down. Exhale as your hands go back, inhale as they're in front of you. 5 seconds, exhale, inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you have it. So that's our first chair exercise. Let's see if this camera will follow me up, and it should. Come on, come on. There it is. Excellent. So what we're doing right now is body weight strength training and some mobility exercises. The body doesn't know where the external or the resistance is. So right now we're using gravity as a form of resistance. So this is an important thing to point. So if I grab my Sing Sing rescue kitten and I hold her and I squat, that's a form of resistance or strength training. Just make sure she doesn't fall asleep in your arms. Bands, another form of resistance training. If you have a backpack and you have books and you're carrying it, that's a form of resistance strength training. If you're swimming, the water is a form of resistance, and technically that is strength training. Why am I talking about strength training? Unbelievably important for everyone as we age. We want to counter and fight sarcopenia. I'm not going to have this whole workout talking about sarcopenia, but I need to put it in your radar. Sarcopenia is just this. It's an age-related, involuntary loss of skeletal muscle, strength, and function. So as we all age, we start to go through that process. But what you're doing today is help to mitigate it and to counter it, because you are staying active and every movement counts. So that was my little spiel. Now what we're going to do are hip hinges. So let me fix the camera. Hip hinges is the opposite of what you do all day, what we all do, which is sit and stand, right? So we need to do a movement to counter that, and that is a hip hinge. The hip hinge is going to work every muscle basically from the back of your neck all the way down to your heel. The heaviest emphasis will be your hip, but I'm just saying it works your posterior chain. So let's jump into it, shall we? And what are those three things I mentioned earlier? I'm going to give you a cheat. Red, square, and 3. Remember that. If you get it correct later and you put it in a comment, you get a door prize. So follow my lead, my friends. You're going to have your feet hip width apart. Toes will point forward. Your hands will be in front of your hips. Palms up. So they are literally making contact. So again, legs hip width apart. This is just a front view. I want to give you a side profile. Let me come back a little bit more. So my side profile, everything is still the same way. I pull back my shoulders gently and I bring them down. I inhale. Now, I'm going to show you, watch my knees. My knee angle doesn't change, right? So I'm going back with my bum, and then I'm tall. Starting position is a tall position. Shoulders above your hips, hips above your knees. You're nice and tall. Statue of Liberty, tall. We pull back our shoulders. The angle of our knee doesn't change, so our bum literally is going back. Our weight is evenly distributed on our feet and on the ball of our feet, on our foot. I give you a front view. This is just a test run, and then we're going to do some reps. Pull back, inhale, smell the roses. Then I give you a little bit more details, and then exhale as I come up. Very important. If you feel dizzy doing this up and down, I need you to stop and sit. It's not worth it. If you don't, we will continue. And I have a very weak. You will come back into the workout, but don't do the hip hinge if you feel any dizziness going up and down. So let's quickly review the hip hinge and what I'm gonna ask you to do, okay? My neck needs to be neutral. So as I drive my bum back, it's working my hips and hamstrings. I'm looking down. That's a neutral neck. That's part 1. That's not negotiable. Part 2, what I'm gonna ask you to do is look at your navel, your belly button. Some of you are very, very flexible where you can touch your toes. We're not gonna touch your toes with this. Pretend you have the table at the height of your navel, and we're going to see if our chest can touch that table. See, as my bum goes back, it's touching my table, and then I come back to tall position. Now we're going to do a 10-second hip hinge circuit. Beginning now. We inhale, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Practice makes progress. So again, from that movement, where you should not feel it is your lower back. If you don't feel your hips and hamstrings, that's fine. Those are the prime movers. Those are the muscles that are working, and that's something that we're going to work together. It's worth your time to learn and incorporate to any workouts that you currently have. So that's part 1 of this two exercise circuit. Exercise 2, what we're going to do is a sidestep and clap. So I'm going to have my feet together, my hands together. I'm going to go first. I open up, I come back, clap. There's no clap yet. And then I step to the other side, I come back, clap. If you're like, hey man, that's like a dance. Why not? You can put some tunes on. So some brain activity, and we're going to do it together. My hands together, feet together. There's nothing around your feet that you can trip over. I open up, I'm stepping to my left. Smell the roses, come back, clap. Smell the roses, blow out the candles, clap. If you're wondering what's the distance, it could just be a small step. It doesn't have to be a major long step. So for this one, I'm going to count for 10 seconds. The louder your claps, the better. Arms out in front. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, quick water time, sip. And then we're going to do that circuit. We'll have enough time to do everything that we're doing up to now, trust me. Hydration is a very important part of healthy aging. We should be staying hydrated all day. So if you're asking, hey, how much water is enough for me? So this is a simple little formula. Whatever you weigh, divide that by 2. Whatever the number is, turn that into ounces, and that's how much you should drink, or an idea, your intention. So if I weigh 200 pounds, divide 200 pounds by 2, that equals 100. So my goal in ounces to drink is 100 ounces a day, which I would divide, 25 ounces morning, afternoon, etc. It's a big goal, but that's personalized for me. That's a little fun way. There's other ways that you can personalize your drinking. All right, time for hip hinge. So why is the hip hinge important? Again, it's your posterior chain. It's going to complement what we do for squats, but you will add weights. Not right now, but once you master the movement, we'll add weights. So for example, here's the hip hinge. I can have a weight like this, and I'm going to show you another variation. But let's review the basic one. So your feet are hip width apart, toes are pointing forward. You're going to pull back your shoulders gently and down, hands in front of your hips. Smell the roses, hinge, look down. Exhale as you come up, you should be able to squeeze your bum. That's 1, 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I can add this one. Rest is rust, motion is lotion. That's the whole theme of today, is to help us if you are a member, if you participate in physical activity or use the resources at your local senior center. Some of them are still temporarily closed or slowly reopening. So the whole point again of my workout today is to be that bridge between now and then to keep you active and to complement whatever you're currently doing. So now we're going to do that sidestep and clap. My hands are together, feet together. I'm going to open up, smell the roses, come back, loud clap, boom. Loud clap. Again, it's not important how far you step out, it's can you coordinate it. I'm going to start counting, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Very good. So we'll have a quick sip. Actually, I'm supposed to be doing some sit and stand exercises with you, but Sing Sing's like, I'm going to have to talk to her about it, but we'll get there. So let's do a quick stretch for your upper body. This is a very old school stretch. It's a tricep stretch. So I'm going to show you 2 ways. My right hand is going to touch the base of my neck. Once it touches the base of my neck, my free hand is going to grab that elbow. I'm going to walk my hand down and I'm going to stretch. And I'm going to hold that for like 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, and then I release. Then our next one, again, my opposite hand touches the back of my neck. I walk my hand down my spine. Other hand grabs the elbow. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I release. We're going to do something for our ankles now, which I call ankle circles. It's not necessarily a stretch, it's more mobility. So I need you to touch something. So I'm touching my chair. My right foot is going to be doing a certain movement. I'm going to touch the floor with my big toe. That's my right foot. My leg's slightly behind. And I'm going to do circles pivoting on my big toe. So we're going to go 5 in one direction. 5 reps. And this leg is like a shadow leg, so it's relaxed. And then we go the opposite way. It should be a nice feeling. So I'm going to show you a front view, pretend I'm touching. So I'm pivoting on the big toe, 5 reps in one direction, then the other. Then I'll do the opposite side. Show you a back view. So this exercise or this mobility drill, some people do it with their leg in front. I'm having you do it with your leg in the back. It makes a subtle difference, and you can do both. 3, 2, 1. All right. So I'm going to pick up Sing Sing the rescue kit, and as I said, if I wanted to add some more resistance, I can use her for squats. So say like 5, 4. She's like, what's happening? But for right now, body weight and gravity is going to be our resistance. So now I'm going to do some sit and stand. It's going to be a little bit different. And I'm going to ask you for your attention. I'm going to ask you to pretend you have a safety bar. And I'll show you a side view. So that safety bar is not the height of my chest, slightly higher. So an imaginary safety bar. You're going to use the leg position, hip width position that's most comfortable for you to pull yourself up. And then we're going to sit 3, 2, 1 down. So I'll show you again. Stay with this exercise. I'm going to show you another variation, another thing that's going to make this interestingly more challenging. So here's a side view. I got that imaginary safety bar. I'm going to pull myself up, exhale, and then it's a 3, 2, 1. What I'm sharing with you is what we call tempo in fitness, T-E-M-P-O. So I can pull myself up, that's a 1 second, and then the tempo going down is 3, 2, 1. So that's going to be exercise 1. Exercise 2 is going to be a leg extension, but we're going to do it a little bit different, or a knee extension. Let me show you the knee extension, then we're going to do the sit and stand, because that sit and stand is pretty straightforward. You're going to sit in the middle of the chair. You're going to lift your chest. You're going to extend your left knee high with your toe pointing at you. I'll give you a side view. My chest, and we're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, embrace the shake, 2, 1. Same leg, only difference is we're going to rotate our thigh bone femur out. So I turn it outward, foot pointing flex at me, 5 seconds, 4, chest up, 3, 2, down. Same leg, but we're going to turn our thigh bone in. So I extend my knee, turn my thigh bone in. So it's internally rotated, 5, keep that leg up, 4, foot flex, 3, 2, 1. Now we'll do the opposite leg. I'll go this way, see how it works. That's my right leg, so this is just a normal knee extension. Chest up, 5. Now we're going to do external rotation. I lift my chest, I turn my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then internal. So I'm going to extend my knee, foot flex, turn it in, 5, I get that cramp like me, 4, 3, 2, 1. Over a period of time of doing the unilateral exercises, the cramps we feel, they were lessened until we actually pretty much forget about that we had it. But that's what this is the best part about exercise and fitness. Every effort counts, and we want to do what we can each day to stay active. And having unilateral exercises is even a bigger bonus to it because there's tremendous benefit for it. So now we did the leg extension, and we're going to pair that up with the sit and stand. So we're going to do 10 seconds worth. You're going to decide which stance. Narrow, whatever works for you. I got that high safety bar. I pull myself up. Exhale. Here's your tempo. 3, 2, 1. Grab that bar. Here's that tempo. 3, 1. Make sure your chair doesn't move. We're doing 5. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. I believe this is 4. Exhale. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. I think my counting is off, but that's okay. We can do one more. 5, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Sing Sing. Water time, because we're going to do that whole circuit again. So by this time, you should be somewhat warmed up, and I'll do a hip stretch with you on here too. What are those 3 things I mentioned earlier? I'm going to give you a cheat. Red, square, and free. Got to remember. Every day, all the time. Basic piriformis stretch. You're going to bring your right foot over your left knee. I'm sitting upright, I'm not leaning back. That's the stretch. There's a lot of power in simplicity. If you're like, I want a little bit more stretch, just going to lean forward. We do about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and then we'll switch. Opposite side. 2, time. All right, we got to do this circuit one more time. So we started with the leg extensions. And I want to take this moment too. You want to stay in contact or reach out to your local senior center or community center. Other than physical programs and activities, they very likely have a whole bunch of other resources you may not be aware of. So I asked them for what's the latest events, what resources are available for you, and I want you to take advantage for that. So go for that. So we're going to do our right knee. We're going to do the leg extension in the three different positions. We do a 5-second hold. So I lift my chest, I extend my knee, my foot's pointing at me, not away. 5, 4, 3, 2, down. Then we're going to do extension number 2, same leg. I extend, but I turn my thigh bone out, externally rotate to the right. 5, squeeze this muscle. 4. Then we have the next one. Extend my knee and turn my leg inward. 5, towards the midline. 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. So we're going to do the opposite side. You don't have to sit around in the chair. I'm doing this to give you a side profile so you can get a better view. So my leg is 5, facing sing 4, 3, 2, chest up. 1. So if Sing Sing was doing this, she has 4 legs. What I'm doing right now, I'm going to myself out. Is my chest up or am I slouching? I think I'm slouching. So thanks for the correction. I lift my chest. We're going to finish strong. Turn my thigh bone out to the left. 5. I'm not supporting my leg. 4, 3, 2, down. Very good. Now we are going to do those sit and stand with the safety bar. You decide if you want to ride or your whatever is most stable or you're used to having for your leg position. We grab that imaginary safety bar higher than our shoulders. Inhale, pull ourselves up, and this is where we do the 3, 2, 1 tempo. 3, 2, 1. Then we pull ourselves up. Exhale. 3, 2, 1, 2 out of 5, pull ourselves up. 3, 2, 1. 2 more, pull ourselves up. Inhale, smell the roses. 3, 2, 1. Makes a difference when you slow it down. And this is 5. If I'm wrong, you let me know in the message. Very good. So that circuit is finished. We did 2 rounds. That was excellent. So once again, we will sip water. It's better to sip water than to chug the water. That's just my own personal preference. So let's do those ankle circles again. Let's review that. So I touch the chair, something that's stable. So I don't have to focus on balance. This is my right leg, right foot behind, touching the floor with my big toe. Then I do 5, 4, one direction. 3, 2, 1. Then we do the opposite. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do the opposite leg. So now it's my left leg going behind. It's just slightly behind. Pivot on the big toe. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the other way. My analogy is like the heel is a paintbrush. And I'm trying to draw circles on the ceiling with my heel. So that's pretty much it with that. So we're going to continue. Now I want to bring up your heart rate. We're going to do foot fire or fast feet. First and foremost, you're going to make sure you have something behind you. And whatever you have, of course, your chair doesn't have wheels. We're going to do 5 seconds of foot fire. All that is, we're going to go into a quarter squat, no lower. And from here, you're going to pretend you are on a nice beach and it's unbelievably hot and you're on that sand. So I'm on that sand, and for 5 seconds, we're going to go as fast as we can off that sand. 3, 2, go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, stop. Not too bad. So that is our foot fire. Now we're going to pair that up with another exercise. We're going to pair that up with a wide stance. Wide is relative. What I'm going to ask, you're going to get into the stance that's most comfortable and stable and doesn't affect your balance. So it may be shoulder width. You may go more than shoulder width. And you may be asking, hey, should my toes be pointing, my knees be pointing this way? Rule of thumb, your knees and your feet just point in the same direction. So if your feet are going out that way, just make sure your knees. If your feet are pointing forward, your knees and your feet point in the same direction. So for me, they're kind of 45 degree. So let's get into the exercise. Quarter squat, wide squat. Pretend you have free weights or you have a pet and you're just going to do bicep curls, 10 seconds. 9, that's it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, time. Those are the 2 exercises we're going to do. Quick break. Someone took my seat. Wow. Yeah, she's no joke. So before I go into the foot fire or fast feet, I want to share what we're doing right now. So what I'm doing is increasing the tempo. So obviously that's fast. We want to do exercises that's a little bit faster tempo than you normally would do. So if you do a lot of walking, which is fantastic, you know, in disperse of your walk, you want to pretend, you know, do like a 5-second faster pace walk. Just get used to that, and I guarantee if you find it a little bit challenging, meaning like you get winded if you walk really fast, make sure it's safe. You come back to that a week later, I guarantee it's going to be easier. So we want to have little exercises that kind of challenges our cardiovascular system and our respiratory system safely, and do them in doses. So we're going to do this again. It's a very small dose, 5 seconds. We're going to do it in place. Fast is relative. Fast feet, 3. I'm going to show you sideways, 2. Go. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, stop. Hammer time. I just dated myself. So that may even look like what you see from those football players of fast feet. So if they ever are looking for a recruit, just, you know, send them your resume. That was a bad joke. So what's the next exercise? I'm stalling. I go out, wide, right? You're going to decide how your feet are going to point forward or out. Knees point in the same direction. We drop, 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 whatever's most comfortable. And we curl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. So again, like I'm going to drink water, then you should be sipping water. What we're doing are 2 rounds for each circuit. We're doing 2 exercises. Hopefully I'm impressing upon you that you can stay active, you can do workouts, and they're very time efficient. We're doing multi-joint, you know, total bodies, and also single unilateral exercises. At the end of the day, the biggest thing I want you to take away is just to keep moving, and keep moving. All activities are great. And like what the theme of the workout is, rest is rust and motion is lotion. So you just want to keep moving. I'm going to keep repeating that. We're doing pretty good. All right, so let me bring out one of my props. So I want to show you what I have in my hand. So education is also part of my style of fitness. So this thing may come to me. There it is. So what I'm holding in my hand are 2 familiar things, or not. So in my right hand is a pound of fat, and my left hand is a pound of muscle. I want you to ask, I'm going to ask you, this is a trick question by the way, what weighs more, a pound of fat or a pound of muscle? I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to give you the cheat. It's a trick question. What weighs more, a pound of fat or a pound of muscle? On the internet, there's a ton of misinformation, so I'm trying to give you some info to counter that. I'll get back to this in a second or 2. And I gave you kind of the answer already. But I'll come back to that and put my toys down. That ties into the whole strength training and countering and mitigating sarcopenia, which again is the age-related involuntary loss of skeletal muscle, muscle strength, and muscle. Every activity that you're doing, whether you're walking up the stairs or if you're doing wall push-ups, you're taking a group X, we're maintaining muscles, and it's so important just for aging. And last but not least, the activities you're doing is also fulfilling and empowering. If you wanted to share that with other people, I highly recommend that, because bringing other people into your workouts is a great way to build our community, and sharing is caring. So I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, so now we're going to go back to the chair. And I'm going to have my friend come up, temporarily. We are going to do what I call a Sparta Squat. So for this one, if you don't have a yoga block, it's perfectly fine. If you have a book, you can use the book, but you're going to be careful with it. And I'll explain what my Sparta Squat looks like. I have a yoga block. It's on my fingertips. I'm sitting in the middle of at the end of the chair, and my goal is to stand up slowly, up, 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 and I don't drop the book or the yoga block, and it's in front. So 3, 2, 1 down, and I'll show you again. I stand up. Your legs should be warmed up. If you want a bonus move, you press overhead. This 2 out of 5, and I'll start over. Whatever works. So if at this point, if you're like, I can't balance it on my fingertips, I'm going to fix my camera, that's fine. You can hold it. So what you're doing is actually a single arm overhead squat. And basically it would be like this, but this is the beginning of it. So I inhale, exhale as I'm tall, then you can add a press, come back, and we got 2 more. And if you're probably noticing, I am spinning it around because it's just more comfortable. Inhale, exhale as I come up, press, up, and then back down. Now we're going to do the opposite side. Once again, if you don't have a book, which is supposed to be a light book, or a yoga block, you will not use anything. You will pretend you have something. And this is perfect because remember, we always start with movement before we add anything. So my left hand, I come up, inhale, exhale, pretend I have the yoga block or a book, not a weight, because what we're not trying to do is, it defeats the exercise if you're holding something. The whole part of the exercise is that you're literally balancing something that's light. If you want to take it up another level, you can literally use your slipper. So you can balance your slipper. You know, you have your fingertips underneath the sole. Oh, you saw that? And that's 2 out of 5. This is my dominant hand. All right, let's continue. If you have fitness people who are perfect, hats off to them. I am not a perfect human being. Imperfect and being imperfect. That's 3. And then I come up. I'm going to exhale. 4. I forgot how challenging this is on my left side. Completely forgot. And then this is 5. It's a fantastic exercise that's worth practicing. Again, if you don't have a yoga block, you can have a light like slipper and you can balance it, or a very, very light book. Practice makes progress in this. I highly, strongly recommend incorporating that. All right, so we're going to start from the top. I'm just going to mix exercises up, everything we did. We have enough time to review. What are those 3 things I told you to remember? Square, red, and 3. Right? So let's go to the yoga block. I'm going to put it between our knees. I'm going to do the right knee first. Right foot goes out. 10 seconds. 9, 8, keep your chest up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we do the opposite. 10 seconds. 9, smile. This is not punishment. 8, 7, that was a joke. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, everybody's a rock star. Now we're going to do that upper body movement. So you have option 1, arms are completely straight. If you remember, palms have to be up. Option 2, elbows hugging the ribs. Looks like a right angle or the letter L. We'll begin. You choose. 10 seconds. 9, exhale as you push back. 8, 7, as you bring your thumbs back. 6, 5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Very, very good. I want everybody, if you have your water. So if you have been doing what I've been asking up to now, you should notice your water really getting to the end. And then you're going to reach your goal of staying hydrated for the day. I believe the earth is like 80% water, give or take. And the human body is, I believe, 75 to 80% water. Something to that effect. So that just shows in itself the importance of staying hydrated. And the effects of the opposite of being hydrated is well documented. It could be balance, fatigue, irritability. It's not good for the brain. And the brain loves water, so you want to stay hydrated. All right, so now we're going to go to our hip hinge. I'm going to fix my camera, and I'm going to see if this kitty is going to let me, she might join in. All right, my friends, let's get this going. So hip hinge, hands in front of your hips, palms up, feet hip width apart. Oops, sorry. I'm going to move my chair a little bit away. Pull back our shoulder blades. We're going to keep a neutral neck. The angle of our knee doesn't change, but we do not lock our knees. So I probably didn't mention that. Our knees are not locked. Big inhale. Smell the roses. Drive my butt back. Blow out the candles, and I'm as tall as I can be. And I squeeze my bum. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very, very good. Then we're going to pair that up with our Sidestep and Clap. Here's a fun fact. Normally at this time, I would be in company with a group of awesome people. And now I'm with a group of awesome people virtually at this time. The amazing thing of technology, we can all stay connected. Feet together, hands together. Step out to the left, come back, clap. Don't have a cat near your feet when you do this. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7 loud claps. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right, my friends, so grab your water. We're going to sit. We're going to do the next circuit, which was down here. All good. As we're doing this, if you need more rest in between, please go right ahead and take it. I'm pretty sure this video is going to be, I'm going to be able to save it. I'm going to post it so everybody has access to it again. So what we're going to do are those knee extensions, those leg extensions. We lift our chest, give you the side view. So here I'm going to extend my left knee, my foot's pointing at me. No. 5, 4, do not hold your breath. 3, down. So there's 3 different knee extensions. We're going to 5, 4, 3, 2, down. Then we have the internal rotation. Same leg, we just turn it in. Foot flex, chest up. 5, 4, 3, 2, down. You gotta squeeze that quad muscles. Then we'll do the opposite leg. So of course, if you like 5 seconds not enough, you can do 8 seconds. It will catch up. So I lift my chest, extend my knee, foot flex, 5, 4, 3, 2, down. Then we're gonna do external rotation. Leg out, 5, 4, 3, 2, down, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Then the last one, we turn our leg in. I give you a front view. So my femurs turn in. 5, 4, thigh bone, 3, 2, down. This is the one where we pair that up with the sit and stand, grabbing that safety bar really high. And our tempo is 3, 2, 1 down. We'll do 5. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, relax. Next inhale, grab that bar, pull yourself up. 3, 2, oh, we do 3, 2, 1 now. 3, 2, 1. Pull up. Exhale. 2, 1. Big pull. 3, 2, 1. Big pull. Just making you work now. 3, 2, 1. That's for making fun of my workout. Exhale. 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. Down. Thought that was pretty good. Quick water, because we're going to do fast feet, my friends. We're getting to the climax of the workout. The peak. So just to review, at any time if you feel any pain or discomfort in your joints or your muscles, not challenged with pain or discomfort, you want to stop. Any lightheadedness, you want to stop. It's not worth it. So the foot fire again, we start in a quarter squat. From that position, we're going to go fast feet as if we're on a hot stand and we're doing this in place. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, time. Excellent. And we're going to pair that up with the wide stance bicep curl. So here's my wide stance. Direction, 10-second curls. 9, 7, yeah, I got lower. 6, 5, 4, catches up. 3, 2, up we go. Excellent. All right, so I'm not going to do the Sparta Squat again, but what I am going to end this with is a brain activity exercise, and we're going to do it. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to try to do this with your family, and you can do this online too. So you're going to make a fist, and you're going to smile. So the challenge is this: you're going to do this little drill, and the first person to smile loses, and you give them like 3 to 5 times. So let's have your right pinky out, your left thumb up, and then you're going to switch. So left thumb, left pinky out, right thumb up. I have to think about this. Then right pinky, left thumb, left pinky, right thumb, and then we just keep alternating, and just keep alternating. I'll show you a side view. Left pinky, right thumb, no smiling, and that is my timer, courtesy of Hendrix, saying that we're getting close to the end. But you guys are doing that with your friends or family, and if they smile, they lose. So fun has to be part of a workout. If you don't have fun in your workout, then you're missing out. And I hope you liked today's workout. It was Rest is Right. Everybody did a fantastic job. If you have any questions for me, Salado at fitnessfoundry.net, or go to fitnessfoundry.net, and you will see my contact information there. I'm here to be of service. You can ask me any questions, and I will be doing these more often. So till next time, I'm going to ask everybody to be well and stay active. And Ching Ching will say goodbye too. Let's do that. Okay. The rescue kitten. Rest is rust, motion is lotion. She agrees. Bye, everyone.